Good morning, everyone. Phi Farley here. It's October, what is it, 6th? It's October 6th. It's Saturday. We got a big slate of Week 6 college football coming at you. If you haven't checked out my other picks, please do so. Major League Baseball picks, NFL picks, they're all going to be out there. Baseball coming off a 5-0 day yesterday with the full slate of playoff baseball going on. So make sure you subscribe, hit notify, so you can get all my picks. I'm going to try and rattle through my games today for college football as quickly as I can because I want to have a nice, concise video so you can get right through these. I got 4 plays coming at you real quick. Okay, here we go. So first we got Maryland going up to Michigan. This one's interesting. I think we have a Michigan team that just came off an underperformance, and we have a Maryland team that came off an overperformance. That said, we have Maryland who just beat Minnesota quite handily. Minnesota is a tough team behind PJ Fleck, and they have a good defense. And so for them to run the score up, score 42 on them, I think that's an overperformance. And then meanwhile, we also have Michigan, who was behind against Northwestern, and they end up coming back and winning 20-17 up in Northwestern. Now they come back to Michigan. One thing to note in the Big Ten, home field advantage. Home field advantage is super, super important. Northwestern at home, super difficult. Minnesota at home, super difficult. Wisconsin at home, super difficult. Iowa is a great one, super difficult. So be very careful as you take teams on the road in the Big Ten. Now, here I go. I'm actually going to be backing Maryland at the plus 17.5, and here's why. I think we have a 10-point game here. Maryland plays very, very well, and they're going to Michigan. The total is set at 45. We got a Maryland team that put up, 34 on Texas? And you're expecting me to have under 20 against Michigan? I don't think so. Their defense is really, really good. I think we're going to be within 10. So you're giving me a touchdown plus a hook on top of that. I'm going to take the 17.5 with the Maryland Terrapins. All right, second game I have is Tulane going to Cincinnati. Cincinnati 5-0, Tulane 2-3. However, these schedules the records are very misleading based on the schedules. Tulane has had to face Ohio State. They had to face who else did they face? Memphis. Of course, they beat Memphis by 14. They had trying to think of their other loss. I'll bring it up here in just one second. Cincinnati, on the other hand, they played UCLA, they played UConn. They really have played teams that are at the bottom. Then they played 2 MAC schools, Miami of Ohio and Ohio. Not really traveling too much. And yes, they've come out on top of each one of those, barely beating Ohio, Alabama, A&M. Just really soft schedule. I'm sure that when they scheduled UCLA, they thought they'd get a better opponent there. But they end up getting the bottom of the Pac-12. And then UConn is completely down. Meanwhile, Tulane, Memphis, Ohio State, Alabama, Birmingham, and Wake Forest is what they've gone through. And even Nichols. Nichols is actually a good FCS school. And they've run through that, and they're 2-3 at the end of it, including just coming off a win against Memphis, 40-24, 16-point win. So now we're getting 6.5. I think Tulane can win this one outright. I liked it better at 7, but now we're down to 6.5. I'll still take it at 6.5. Give me Tulane on the road in Cincinnati. All right, last game I have. Actually, I got a bonus game for you here in just one second. But I got Washington State going into Oregon State, and here's why I like them a lot. So Washington State passes the ball. They're a Mike Leach offense, right? So they pass the ball. They're up by 30. They're passing the ball. If they're up by 35, they're passing the ball. So unfortunately for Oregon State, when they're down 14, pretty soon they're going to be down 21. And then pretty soon they're going to be down 28. Even though it's the fourth quarter, and even though the game is out of hand, Washington State continues to pass the ball, to even run the clock. They do little dinks and dumps to keep the clock running. So that's Mike Leach. That's his offense. That's the way he's always been. That's the way he was at Texas Tech. That's the way he is here at Washington State. And as you look at his wins early in the season against inferior opponents, Wyoming, San Jose State, Eastern Washington University, I watched each of those games. They could have been within that 17, but each one of these goes over the 17 mark because they're continuing to throw the ball. So they beat Wyoming by 22. They beat San Jose State by 31, and they beat Eastern Washington by 25. I think we have the same thing, same result here with Oregon State. Okay, last game I have for you. Pay attention to this one. If you can get an FCS game, my book gives FCS lines, and it's awesome. So we have a really key mismatch here. I was hoping for a better line, but this is still a good line. University of Idaho is going to Idaho State, and they're getting 11 points. It's Idaho State minus 11. Lay the 11 with Idaho State, and here's why. University of Idaho has had a lot of turmoil this last year. I know players on the team, and it has been not good. They are not fans of Coach Petrino. His son is the quarterback. The offensive line has been way overworked. There's a lot of drama. They lost 12 athletes on the line, on offensive and defensive line, before the first game of the season through spring ball and through the summer. Guys holding out, guys going to other schools, and guys getting hurt. They had one lineman left to start the season. He got heat stroke from being over-practiced. There's just not good things happening there. Not to mention they drop down to FCS. They lose their scholarships to a lot of those kids. And now they're going to travel to an in-state rival, Idaho State, who's beating North Dakota, who just beat NAU, who was one of the preseason picks to win the Big Sky. And now they get their in-state rival, Idaho, coming to town. Also, those kids that are leaving, the linemen that left, went to Idaho State. There's also a few other players they haven't quite gotten over to Idaho State yet, and they're trying to get them over to Idaho State as well. So this is a big, big circled game for Idaho State. I would take the Bengals at home, which is a tough place to play in Pocatello, Idaho. Take that team at home, laying the 11 against in-state rival Idaho Vandals. So there you go, my 3 picks, plus a bonus pick FCS if you can take it. Good luck, everyone, today, and I'll see you again soon.